God's timing is rarely our timing, which is why one of the most frequent cries in the Psalms is, how long? How long? Why not now, God? What possible reason could you have for making this protracted suffering even longer? Faith is, at least in part, the ability to trust that if you knew everything God knew, and if you understood everything God understood, and if you could see everything God sees, you would say, that's right. It takes faith to believe that, because our vision is so limited and our pain can seem so long. But if we knew what God knew and could see what God sees, we would say, of course. Of course I see why that had to happen to him and to them and to her and to that country and that people and that decision and that thing. God knew what he was doing. But here, in the desert in Midian, why should this day be any different than 10,000 that had come before? It was not any different in one sense, except this was the day that the Lord had appointed to be the beginning of the exodus of his people. I love what the commentator Victor Hamilton says: God's delays are not necessarily God's denials. And as some of you endure what seems like a long period of God's delay, know that it is not necessarily his denial. They had languished in Egypt for 400 years, but now, on this day, in a public way, God would call a man to go and initiate their deliverance.